Hey, welcome to tonight. It's I don't know what night it is. What, Tuesday night? Welcome. Good evening to you. It looks like we're live. Hey, quick special format tonight. Obviously Tuesday, you guys know, is my hardest day of the week. I got done with my workshop tonight. It was fantastic. So good to be back with everybody. So here's the deal. My promise to you was to work on getting a show in daily. So that's what we're going to do. I got a clock right here. Right there. I got a clock right here. 23 minutes. So in a couple seconds, we'll get. Just want to explain first. But I want to do on Tuesday nights, we'll start this at 23 minutes. We'll count down to 0. When that gets to 0, we're done. So the format for Tuesday, at least for tonight, I'm testing this, right? I'm testing everything. I don't have a show prepared. I have nothing prepared. This is strictly what do you want to talk about? So if you provide nothing, then we talk about nothing. Deal? So cool. Anna's here. Kathleen's here. Lisa's here. Connie's here. Lori, Diane. Lori says, I'm so sleepy. Hopefully I'll stay awake. Marcia, I saw you. Susan's here. Bev is here. Anna, Elaine, Chris is here. Happy birthday to you, Chris. Very nice. Karen's over on YouTube. Shannon's here. Pamela's here. Marie is here. All kinds of fun. So does that make sense to you guys? Let's do that. Is you guys cool with this format? I know you are. But are you cool with this format? So let's do this. All right. So let's. So someone lead it off from the time I see the first. Kind of question or whatever, then we'll start the countdown clock, and then we'll get me out of here. I can get to bed, you can get to bed, and all that good stuff. Make sense? Anna says, I love the idea of a contract to ourselves. So I will offer this up to you. Let's go ahead and do this. I will offer this up to you. You saw the post I put on Facebook today. Hopefully you saw the post I put on Connect, talking about a contract. You need to write a contract to yourself. If you were negotiating a major contract with a major company, you would do whatever it takes to honor that commitment. So I want you to honor that commitment. If you make a contract and you write it out and you want me to countersign it, I will gladly do that. Email that in at onair@fatdag.com. Put contract in the subject, and I will review it quickly. I will scribble it back and somehow get it back to you. So that's my commitment to you based on the contract concept that we talked about. Only for those of you paying attention to the live show, let's do that. Cool. So Pamela's saying, what are you doing differently this month? Different workouts, just more mindful. What's new? Nothing differently. I'm just actually holding myself accountable. So still not. I'm not a tracker. I track mentally. So I'm still, nothing's changed there. I know what good eating looks like. I know what not good eating looks like. I'm eating better. Nothing more. I haven't missed I do a workout on Thursday. That's all I do mostly. I do a little bit of, every once in a while I'll go for a run. I haven't run yet in January. It's been a little crazy. But so no, nothing differently this month really, other than just holding myself accountable to the process. Marie says, let's talk about making plans and sticking to them. Having a hard time with my food plan. Activities on point, but not so much. So sticking to this is the hardest part. This is the whole crux of the whole program, is to stick with it. So no matter what you have, if you're a writer, which Marie, I know you are, and you set a goal to write 1,000 words a day or 750 words a day, at some point you treat that like your points, right? If you say you're going to write 700 words a day, you can't just wake up and go, don't feel like it, right? You have to do that. So this is the same thing. Instead of counting up to 700, you're counting down from 30 or 23 or whatever your point number is. It truly comes down to, are you holding yourself accountable to this process? Now, the caveat there is, obviously this is different in a sense where you need nourishment. So if you're having difficulty with sticking with a food plan, then I encourage you highly to find ways to get more nutritional food, more protein-rich food, so that you're not hungry all day. That's the game plan going forward there. So hang on one second. This iPad's about ready to die, so let me plug that guy in. All right, cool. So that's the game plan there. So let's see what I missed over here. Anna says, how do I get back into working out? I love that. Attendance goals. My number one solution for working out is attendance goals. Does you no good, zero good to go to a Navy SEAL kickboxing cardio workout where you go to the gym, you bust your tail for 30, 40 minutes, and you leave there exhausted, dripping with sweat. You feel accomplished, I get that. But you leave there, you wake up the next morning and you can't walk. It actually takes 2 or 3 days for all the muscles to finally recover. But what's happened really is it takes you 3 or 4 days to truly recover from that intense workout that you're not used to doing. Then it takes 3 or 4 days, then your mind's out, and before you know it, you're not going back for a week or 2 weeks, and sometimes you take 3 or 4 weeks off. Zero good. Think about one of the most intensive workouts you can do. At best, you're going to burn 500 to 600 calories at the gym. 500 to 600 calories is it's very little. So you can overeat 500 calories like that. So what I want you to do too, rather than saying I need to get back to the gym, I want you to set attendance goals. Attendance goals is deliberately going to do something today that matters. Today for me, my attendance goal was I just did push-ups in my office. That was it. I consider that my workout for the day. I will build up in intensity to that, but I can do that tomorrow as well. I can wake up tomorrow and do the exact same thing I did today. That's the plan. Whatever you do for a workout, you need to be able to repeat it tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Do so little, make it so effortless that you can repeat it, because the important thing you're trying to work on is building the habit of doing it. That's what it is. So I'm a big fan of attendance goals, going to the gym, walking in, waving to the receptionist, and walking out. Do that for a week. And if you stop every single day on your way home from work and you pull into the park, even if you don't go in, if you pull into the parking lot every single day for a week, you've made more progress than by going in and doing a workout that requires you to take 2 months off. That's how you get back into working out. Let's see. Mandy says, hi, Mike. Hope you're doing great. Mandy, truly am. Really am. So thank you for checking in. Looks like I'll be in Tulsa in Memorial Day again. That's the game plan. So hopefully we'll connect with you there. Marcia says, Mike, do you see all the Wingman barbecues? I never have. I haven't seen that. Let's see. Let's see if I skipped anything else from... Jan says, what was your big announcement, episode 234? I'm not sure what that was. I saw your post earlier asking me about that, and I don't remember what it was. So I don't know what my big announcement for 234 was. I'm not sure. I'm scrolling through. Let's see. Lori says, what do you think of intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting, I've seen a lot of interesting things about it on the internet. A friend of mine, she is super duper smart, and she recommends it. So I understand, I trust her, and I value her opinion, and she recommended it. I'm not willing to try it. I like food. So I'm sure there's some benefit to it. I'm not educated enough to give you an honest assessment, but I have someone who I highly regard and trust who says she recommends it. So therefore, I am willing to explore it if I was inclined to live that lifestyle, not something I'm interested in doing. So I wouldn't steer away from it, but I just don't know enough about it. But it's something worth exploring. Right, I just don't know that I can go half a day or two without food. That doesn't sound that doesn't sound fun. Marisa, the attendance goals got me to where I'm at now. I was so skeptical, but it works. It does, because you're building the habit, right? Yep, very fun. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Bev says started with 2 minutes on the 2 minutes on the elliptical, and then worked up to an hour. Now you walk 2 miles a day. Perfect. Okay. Scrolling. I'm just scanning for questions. So if there aren't any, then we're done. Marcia says I tagged you on the page. Mike Daggett. Okay. Are you doing the mile or more per day challenge? I am not. I'm not good with challenges, right? Things that logistically cause me pain, I kind of avoid. I'm willing to do a mile a day, not as a sense where, so two years ago, I set a goal to run a mile a day outdoors every day. And I lasted 18 days. So it was in January. I ran in the snow, didn't bother me. Ran in -6 degrees, didn't bother me. But when I started realizing this was completely stupid, was I would go for a run at 11:45 at night, continue the run into 12 p.m., 12 a.m. I should say, and then get my 1 mile for one day, 1 mile for the next day. And I'm like, this is ludicrous. You know, we would come back from somewhere we're out, and I'd have to go run at 10 p.m. just to get my 1 mile per day in. So I thought the concept was great, but I couldn't stick with it logistically, and it got me burnt out on the and running became a chore for me versus an enjoyment. So I don't like challenges in that regard. Same thing with, like, 10,000 steps per day Fitbit challenges and stuff like that. Not a huge fan. I'll participate on occasion, but if it gets me out of my routine, then what happens is that it kind of makes me crash and burn. So challenges, I do different things to challenge me, but that isn't one of them. Terry says maybe she means 2:35. We said you're coming to Houston, so that probably is. I don't have my planner with me. My planner's over there, but solidified Houston today. I think I've solidified January, February, March, April, May, June, and July. I think I've solidified on the international tour. Glenda's asking, do I subscribe to any health publications that you read routinely? Nope. I think, and here's why. I think, generally speaking, we all know enough to be healthy, right? There isn't anything that's going to be earth-shattering that's going to be, that's going to completely change my life. So I know enough, not in a cocky kind of way, but I get the basic premise. Eat better, work out more. I get that. So I'm looking for motivation. I'm looking for inspiration. I'm looking for things to keep my head in the game. But I don't need scientific journals on, why an avocado is better than grapes. Not interested. I know they're both better than the bag of chips I used to eat. Kathleen says, I missed a thing about the contract. I thought I heard you say to send it to you to review. Is this right? I plan to write my contract tomorrow and begin fitness goals. Yeah, so if you want, right, if you want to shoot it to me on air at fatdag.com, I will sign it in a witness. I won't countersign it. The contract isn't with me. But I will sign your contract as a witness, and I will send it back to you electronically. So if that is on your to-do list, certainly shoot it to me in a PDF. I'll scribble my John Hancock on the bottom and get it back to you. So we'd be glad to do that for you. Shannon says, WW has taught us not going longer than 3.5 hours and have 10 to 12 hours fast sleep. Yep. Mary says, I'm not doing great with freestyle. Any advice? I would need to know more about what that means. But the generally, and I'm going to make assumptions, and I apologize, but the general consensus with those who aren't doing well on freestyle is because they're overeating on fruit, overeating on 0-point items, saving their points for the junk food that they crave. So an example is you get 23 points a day. You can wake up and have eggs for breakfast, that's 0. You can have a salad for lunch, that's 0. You can have grilled chicken and corn on the cob for dinner, that's 0. You can have a 0-point day, be completely content, and then have 23 points of Snickers, chips, candy bar, soda, right? And so you're certainly overeating in that regard. So for those who are strictly struggling on freestyle, I would say for a little bit, double track, count your calories, see where you're at, get an idea. If you're doing freestyle and you're getting 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day because you're eating so many 0-point items, that is where I tend to see most people are struggling. I've seen folks who have 3 to 4 to 5 bananas a day because they're 0 points. Now, truly, having 5 bananas a day is better than 2 or 3 bags of chips a day. But if you're in a weight loss mode, 5 bananas a day rarely works. Even though it's building a healthier palate, it's just not exactly good. So that's the assumption I'm going to make for you. Let's see. Mary says, this is also very encouraging for someone like me who needs to get back at it. Yep. What are you doing February 2nd? That's Groundhog Day. I'm not sure what I'm doing February 2nd. I don't have my calendar in front of me either. Why do you ask? So let's see. Is there a chance you'll go to Atlanta or Orlando this year? I'm working on Atlanta. February 24th is what I'm working on. Working on that. Haven't confirmed it, but I'm working on that. Orlando got canceled for me. I was supposed to go to Orlando January, I don't know, like 20 for 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere in that time frame. That unfortunately has been canceled, so I'm not going to Orlando. So Tampa, looking like Tampa in August. That's an opportunity. Haven't confirmed that, but that's pretty close. Marty says come to Santa Fe, New Mexico, maybe. When is Minneapolis? Eventually. I'll leave it at that. Montana is beautiful in the summer. Okay. So I haven't announced I actually don't have, the only dates I've solidified right now is Houston. So, I mean, I have dates picked for January, February, March, April, May, June, and July, but not quite ready to give you all of that. So, working on it. Kathy says, at what point should my attendance goals be reevaluated? I walk 10,000 to 12,000 steps and a few push-ups, warm-ups, cool-down exercises. Should I add something more to my routine? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a you question, right? I mean, you're the one that's going to have to determine when you're ready to step it up for performance. So when you're willing to go from attendance goal to performance goal, one of the things you have to remember is you never lose sight of the attendance goal. So performance for you has to be above and beyond what you're currently doing for attendance. So if you get 10,000 steps a day, that has to continue, and then your performance is do it in a faster time. Do it by noon. Do it by, before dinner, have your 12,000 steps in. Amp up your performance in that regard. So see if that helps for you. Hopefully that does give you a way to step up into performance. Corinne says, love to join you in Parma for a workshop. Working on that. Evelyn says, great meeting tonight. Thank you, Mike. Evelyn, so good to see you tonight. Yeah, I can't tell you. I know you know this too. We had a great meeting, but it was so good just to be back into our little group. It's an amazing group. I got to tell you, I reviewed the list. I get a list of all the weigh-in entries, and I reviewed the list at the end of the meeting tonight, and very, very proud of the entire room. That's all I can say publicly. But man, incredible night you guys did. So awesome. Yeah, Shannon says I lost YouTube. It's live over here, but I lost the comments as well. So I'm gonna see if I can regain them before we get too far going, because I lost it as well. Let's see if that gets it going again. There it is. Okay, have you decided which vegetables to try first? No. So I had green beans last night, string beans. Janine made them, so I decided to have them. Let's see. Jason says, see you in Houston. Looking forward to that. And so the intent with Houston, it's not a race per se. The Houston Marathon is that weekend. I'm not coming into town for that. We'll be on the opposite side of town. So we're not going to conflict with the Houston Marathon or the Houston 5K. So don't go registering for that. I'm coming to Houston for something totally unrelated. Then, but on that Sunday, we're going to have some sort of meetup in a park. Maybe just go for a little walk around the park. Something along those lines. That's what we're thinking right now. Details coming soon. Yep. Chris says I've crashed both his Plainfield and his Carmel meetings. Yep, I agree. It's been awesome. It was cool to have you there in both of them. You're a rock star. You're a rock star. So, all right. Anything else? Looks like I'm caught up. If I missed it, resend it, because I just didn't. I must have scrolled through it, but I am caught up on all the comments. So, see, Debbie says July 20th, Cleveland, Ohio, 5K run for tacos. Yes, July 20th. July 20th, I promise you won't work. It does not work at all. Mary says, what part of Houston? I'm not sure, because I'm not from it. Near the Woodlands, I think. That's kind of where I'm staying I'm staying in the Woodlands. So, if that helps. Lisa, I asked them today about the Indy Ultimate. I've asked them to reconfirm the Indy Ultimate date. They have not given me a date, so I have no idea what's in store for the Indie Ultimate. So, yep. Very fun. Cool. Anyway, that's what I got. So what do you guys think of this kind of concept? I mean, would you rather have this? I'm assuming you would. Would you rather have this than no show? Right? I think you would. And I think this is fair. It gives me a chance. There's no prep required. I don't need to do anything other than just turn the computer on. So this makes it significantly easier for me. Yep, Mary said the Woodlands does help. And I don't know anything about Houston, so I don't know what that means. The hotel I booked is in the Woodlands. I don't know where I'm speaking that next day at an event, so I don't know where I'm speaking at. But we're flying into Houston International and then staying in the Woodlands. Janine and Megan are coming, FYI. Their airline tickets have been purchased as well. So Pamela says, yes, I'll think of a question for next time. Mary says, yes, this is perfect. Matt says, love the format. Very fun. Carolyn says, I'm struggling on the lower points. Seems a lot more. Seems I lost more with the higher points. Ever heard of this? Let me read that again. I'm struggling on the lower points. Seems I lost more with the higher points. I'm not sure what that means, honestly, Carolyn. So kind of rephrase it, and I'll see if I can help you out in the remaining 4 or 5 minutes. So Chris Payne says, sign up for a 5K on February 16th in Indy. Woo! Kathy says, maybe have people send in specific questions ahead of time. Yeah, but that requires too much prep, honestly. And the whole purpose of me able to do this is I can just come on and just not have to open my email and dig through questions and try and come up, So that's the reason this format works on a Tuesday night and probably also on Thursday night. Because I do a workshop on Tuesday night, do a workshop on Thursday night. My Tuesday workshop is later. My Thursday workshop is a little bit earlier, so I'm home a little earlier. But tonight I get home at 8:45. That's when I got home for So think about that. I went to work this morning. Went to work all day. Got home at 8:45, and then boom, 9:30 back to this. So glad to do it. That's not the intent. But the intent is I don't want to. When I come home for that 30 minutes, I just want to just turn the computer on and be done. Foodie Mother Runner says, thinking of starting meetings, is it worth it? I believe it is. I don't think there's anything like it. I believe this is probably a close second, but I think the meeting is significantly more valuable. There's an accountability piece to it and a looking in the eye piece to it that you can only get by being in front of people. I think it's absolutely worth it for sure. Smart points versus freestyle. Kathleen's asking. I think I still get it. Donna says, is there a date and a place for Seattle? No. So I don't. The only date I have, unfortunately, right now is strictly the date for Houston. That's the only one that I'll publicly admit to. And then, of course, you guys all know. They're all subject to change, right? But the reason last year when I held the dates back is, I don't want you guys purchasing airline tickets, purchasing hotel rooms, rental cars, if I can't commit to it. So generally, I don't give you the date until I'm willing to fully, like I did with San Francisco, right? I jumped through hoops to get to San Francisco. I went from Indy to Charlotte, North Carolina to San Francisco to make sure I got there. Landed at I forget now, midnight-ish, and up back at 6. So, but I was committed because I knew other people were flying in to meet in San Francisco. So that's that's kind of why I hold the date back for you, is that until I'm 1,000% positive I can make it, it's hard for me to get there. Yeah, Kathleen, I understood your question. I just still don't understand. I don't understand the actual. Okay, so here it goes. Carolyn says, I now get 23 points and the weight loss is slowed. I lost better with 26 points. More able to stay on my blue. So I got you. So you started losing weight and you started losing points, and now your weight loss is slowed down. As you get closer to your goal weight, as you start losing weight, your body certainly needs less food. If you are a little bit inaccurate in your accounting, let's say you count points. Let's say you get 20. Would you start off with 26? Right, and you were overestimating some things and not exactly measuring. You were still eating under what you had normally eaten in the past, so you were able to lose weight. As you get closer to your goal weight, the accuracy of your tracking has to increase in order for the weight loss to continue. So if, let's say, before you started tracking, you were eating 40, 50 points a day, which is not unheard of, you start tracking down to 26, but the reality is you're actually eating 30 because you're not tracking properly, well, then you still had a 10 to 15 point deficit, and so therefore you had the weight loss. Then once you started losing points, if you don't reel that in, then you're now eating in a maintenance mode because maybe the extra coffee creamer, the extra point here, the extra point there isn't being counted. So I would look at the actual, if you get 23 points, I would be as precise as possible with those 23 and see if that helps. Add in more protein. Always I'm going to recommend adding in more protein to help balance your day as well. So Evelyn says, workshops are vital to my success. Marcia says, Corinne will talk. Got it. Missed that. Lindsay is here. Anna says, I love my workshop. Pamela says, do you use weeklies or fit points? So I'm a little bit different in this sense. So when I was in my weight loss mode, yes, weeklies are part of the program. I encourage you to eat them. Fit points are part of the program. I encourage you to figure out if and when you should eat them. If you get to the point where you are very, very, very active, and I mean every single day, not just daily living, intentional, deliberate exercise, going for a run intentionally daily, yes, work in your fit points. You're going to have to figure out how many of those you can need. But if you're tracking fit points for walking the dog, if you're tracking fit points for folding laundry, I wouldn't necessarily encourage you to eat those fit points. I would encourage you to eat fit points that are, a 2-mile run after a 10,000 step day. So, and weeklies are certainly part of the program. Yep, for sure. So hopefully that helps as well. Let's see. Anna says time is almost up, right? Lindsay says, so I had this feed like Facebook, but I can't see the podcast. I'm not sure what that means. So, let's see. I'm just scrolling through in case there's anything very, very important that I missed. Cool. All right, so that's the deal. That worked for you guys. So we'll plan on this kind of format on Tuesdays and Thursdays at least. I may surprise you if I get ahead of time and I have an actually show ready. We'll do it, but I think my commitment is even the nights that I can't do anything, I think I can pop in here for 10 or 15 minutes. If you're cool with that, I'm cool with that. I think we continue on. It just gives us that little bit of check-in, and just kind of gets us going. So. On that note, always thank you to the patrons here who keep this whole thing going. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to plan on giving you guys my battle plan for what I plan on doing for 2019, and but you guys over here taking care of 100% of that. So thank you for being here. Thanks for being a part of this community. And keep up the amazing focus, right? This is going to be the year of focus. This is the year you're going to be deliberate. This is the year you're going to get it done. Remember, in the next couple days or so, if you want to shoot me your copy of your contract, I will, again, not countersigning it. Don't give me a signature block. Put in there a place for me and call me a witness. I will witness your both. The signed and countersigned should be you. Because it's a contract to you from you. This is not. I'm not contractually obligated anywhere in your contract. You are responsible to you. I told you that, and you know that. You are 100% responsible for your own success. I will witness it for you, and that's so. Put me as a witness block, not as a countersign block. Make sense? I think it does. So. All right. On that note, thank you. Cheers. Let's get a drink in. We might as well because we got to. I need one. Cheers. That one was cold. Whew. I didn't take it out in plenty of time. But cool. All right. Thank you again. Have a great night. I wish you good focus. Bye-bye. Have a good night.